Whoop, there it is, right there. That's it. This is the most significant time period in the history of the world, and in my opinion, in the future of the world. This is it. At this moment, 2,000 years ago, was the most significant, the most important events that ever happened. Number one, Jesus dying on a cross for us. Many people have died on crosses, but he was the Son of God in equal nature with God. Number two is the resurrection of Jesus, where literally Jesus Christ rose from the dead. He actually came out of the tomb. That red Play-Doh right back there is supposed to be the tomb. And so he literally came out. And soon, very soon, next stories are coming up, he actually appears before people. He literally appears before the women and then the disciples. It's an empty tomb, yes. It's Jesus Christ that literally came out of the grave. Now, he walked through the tomb. He walked through the back, through the side, through the up, through maybe even down. He came up, in my opinion. He literally came back. His spirit went downward, in my opinion, and we'll talk about that some other time. He literally came up and entered his body physically, like not just some spiritual ghost-like thing. His body literally rose from the dead, bodily resurrection. And I don't think he came through the front door. And if he did, he was already out before the angel rolled the tomb away. So it's not like the angel rolled the tomb away here, or the rock, the tomb away. I do this a lot of mistakes. The stone, it's not like the angel rolled the stone away so that he could come out. No, he already left. He's already out of there. He was in that area, in the vicinity. But again, I can't emphasize this enough. I could say this every single day of my life and literally never get tired of it. And that is sharing, proclaiming, heralding. I'm a herald. I'm a preacher of, and you should be a preacher too, preaching the good news, telling, sharing the good news of the death, resurrection of Jesus. Of course, the burial's in there too. He was buried in that tomb. He was inside there in that cave. And so he was lying there. His body was lying there. He left. Just like when you die, you're not going to lie in your body. Your soul and spirit absolutely leave. It's, 99% sure. There's some scriptures that indicates, kind of suggests that you don't feel anything, but you're unconscious and sleeping. But I personally believe there's too many scriptures that show the other. But there's a possibility of that. We'll get into that sometime later. But anyway, this is sweet. This is the message. It's the central message of Jesus and central message of the gospel. This is the gospel. The gospel is the glad tidings, the good news. Really, it's great news. It's extraordinary news. It's super, super news. It's staggering, stunning, awesome news. And that's that Jesus Christ beat death. And if he beat death, what else is in your life that he can help you with? If he conquered death and he defeated death, what other things in life on this earth is worse than that? Even the worst becomes the best. Because once you die and if you're in Christ, you go to heaven. I believe your spirit immediately goes there. Your spirit and soul. So at this point, anyway, if not, he'll raise it up later. But I think it immediately goes. So Jesus was free now. He's free. We're not. I'm free from sins and I'm free as a person. I have joy, I have peace. I'm free from the devil's power. But I'm still going to die. And you are too. Unless he comes back before then. So he broke the power of death so that we have a future of breaking the power of death. And so that's just glorious news, gospel news. Really, really good. All right. So our next story that we're going to touch on is, well, if you remember here, we talked about the women and at least 6 there at the tomb. And the angel, by the way, it's possible, it's not for clear in my mind yet as I read these Gospels, that they saw the angel sit on that stone. Or it's also possible that the guards who were right here soldiers who basically practically fainted. They were down like shaking in their boots or in their sandals. Anyway, they were down here, and that's when he sat on the stone, and that they weren't there yet, and that the angel rolled it away, sat there, which I love that he's just chilling there. And these guys right here may have finally got the strength, and they scattered, or they went together and they went to Jerusalem. We'll get into that shortly in Matthew. And that they came after the soldiers were gone. I don't know. And he may have disappeared when they came and they saw the stone rolled away. And when we get into pretty soon, we're going to get into what happened to Mary Magdala. She may have seen the stone like that and immediately ran to get the disciples, while these ladies were so curious, like, what happened? They went in the tomb, and that's where they saw the angel. He appeared again there, and maybe two angels at that time, or first the one and then another. So you have one angel at first, and then a little bit later another angel, and the one guy was going to say this and this, whether he said it here or he said it in here, it's not that clear. It seems like he's inside, I will say. If you read Matthew, Luke, Mark, Luke, and John, as a matter of fact, I really believe that he was inside the more I think about it, because I kind of know those Gospels. So I think they saw the stone and they went in, and that's when they saw the first appearance of one of the angels. Right in that tomb, they went inside. They ducked. See, he's kind of taller than this. They ducked and went in there, and they saw, because it was taller, I think, because it was lower, most of them. They saw, the women saw the angel. Now, it could have been they saw two angels right away, and one of these writers said different things, like Matthew only mentions one, while the others, I believe it's Mark and Mark and Luke, they saw two, but he didn't mention them. Not that, he's just mentioning one. They saw an angel and he started talking to them. It's not like they're denying, like Matthew's not denying, like saying there was no other angel. There's only one. He didn't say there's only one. But he mentioned this one. Just like if someone came to my door, and I've had people come to my door, trying to bring their religion to me or something, knock on the door. And I see two, but I remember one time I was talking for about an hour to these two people that were from a false religion, trying to get me into their religion, like getting them, off. And only one guy talked the whole time. So if I was telling you about it, or someone, I would say, this guy came to my door. There was two. This guy came to my door and he just kept talking and all that. And I shared with him, and this is what he said, this is what I said, this is what he said, this is what I said. And later I might say, oh, by the way, it's another guy, but I'm not focused on that. That's what Matthew's probably doing right here. Or it started with one and then the other appeared. So there's, like, if you this is Mark coming up. We have Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. If you put them all together, it's not like clashing, that one's wrong and the other's right. And no. It's just how you look at it, and they fit beautifully. So here's what happened. The angel said to the women, and this is what almost all the angels in the Bible say. Do you have an idea what he said? He said, fear not. Or the King James way of, fear ye not, fear ye not. Or what I would say is, don't be scared to a kid, Say, don't be scared, don't be afraid. And that's what he said to him. He says, do not be afraid, for I know that you are looking for Jesus. God's speaking to him. He knows a lot. Angels know a lot because God's speaking to them and he knows everything. So they knew he knew, and the other angels or whatever, knew that they were coming looking for Jesus because they were going to embalm. I keep saying that, and I don't know, some of you younger ones may not know what I'm talking about. I'm going to spell it, if you know how to spell it. I don't know how young you are. Embalm. They're not going to balm him, B-O-M-B. They're going to embalm him, which means they're going to take spices and trying to put it in honor of him and remembering him. And kind of, some people like to go to graveyards and cemeteries, put flowers there. They go to remember that person. Maybe some people do it once a year. Some people do it a lot because they really miss a person. Well, they're coming right away, and they're actually going to help redo the spices because it was quickly done. Because if you remember, they had to get that body before the Sabbath started. They had to get that body off the cross and all, because it was against the rules of Jewish laws and all. So it says, do not be afraid, for I know that you are looking for Jesus. And I like this part that they knew this, but he says it. And I think it's a punch. They didn't punch him. I mean, he didn't punch him. Who was crucified. You're looking for Jesus who was crucified. In other words, he was good and dead, you guys. And crucifixion means death. And boy, they knew what that was in that time period. Everybody knew what that was. And so, see, this is a gospel right here. Crucifixion, raising from the dead. Because this is what he said. Do not be afraid, for I know that you are looking for Jesus who was crucified. And then it says, come and see. No, I missed the most important line. He is not here. Well, that's obvious, unless he's in one of the niches and all. But it says, he is not here. He has risen. Yay! See, I don't know if you can get the power of that. Number one, someone rising from the dead is like, yeah, right. But it's God's power. And I love the book of Acts. God raised him from the dead. That's what this one phrase says. And he is risen means he's up out of here. We have hope. You have no hope without that. You have no hope of heaven, no hope of eternal life, no hope of your sins being forgiven, no hope for bliss and joy and happiness or anything. You're in a dark cave, dark place in your body, and you're in a grave forever. Your body deteriorates and it goes back to dust, ashes. Ashes for ashes, dust to dust. Like you become what you were made from, and God made us from dust, dirt. Really an amazing God here. And so it says, he is not here, he has risen. And he said, don't be afraid, because, well, there's all sorts of senses of fear. Number one, when you come into an angel, into the presence of an angelic being, or Jesus shows up and gives you a vision of himself, you're not going, hey, give me a high five, Jesus. You're like, yeah, otherworldly, holy, power, light, woo, that's what it is, whoa. And so they all do that. They probably dropped down here. They weren't going, oh, how nice. Wow, he's pretty amazing, isn't he? Look at his outfit and his light, and like he looks like lightning, doesn't he? No, they were scared, kind of shaking a little bit, trembling like the guards. Only he says to them, don't be afraid. He didn't say to the soldiers. He didn't say to them, kind of those guys. They are there for the women. Yeah. So also it says, don't be afraid, meaning it could mean several things. Don't be afraid about Jesus. Like, where's his body? That's upsetting. You know, someone's buried somewhere and you go and they're gone. They're out of the tomb. What are they doing with the body? Are they tormenting it some more? Are animals eating it? You know, who knows? Or did someone steal it? And, you know, where is the body? Don't be afraid. He's cool. He's all right. He's good. So don't be afraid, but I still think it's more of the angelic stuff. Like you're in the presence. They always say that through the Bible. It says, he is not here. He has risen. I love that. Just as he said. He said it. I can't remember all the places offhand. I think it's Matthew 12. Yeah, I know that's right. 16, Matthew 16, Matthew 17, Matthew 20, Matthew 26, I think it's verse 32. I could look it up real quick. That he said he was going to go back to Galilee, which he says that's where he's going to go. Jesus already said that. How's he going to go back to Galilee? He's in a grave. Well, because he rose from the dead. He has risen. I love that. He has risen. That's really sweet news, man. Gospel news. It says, he has risen just as he said. He predicted it over and over. So that shows that Jesus is who he said he was. Like he really is the blessed Son of God. Like he really is divine here. Like divine meaning more than human being. He knew it over and over. The Spirit of God revealed that to him. Then it says, I like this, come and see the place where he lay. And then it says, then go quickly and tell his disciples. I like that, come and see, go and tell. That's my life, and that's your life. That's your whole mission in a nutshell. It's everybody who is a Christian, a disciple, a follower of Jesus, those who want to be in the kingdom of God, those who want to be in heaven. Come and see, go and tell. Come and see, go and tell. Come and see, go and tell. That's my life and that's yours. What does it mean? Well, here it says, come and see where he lay. Here's a slab. It's like a stone couch, picture a couch, and he's probably lying there. Or he's in a niche, which like it's a niche is something that it's like my shelves here. This is, let's say this is a tomb. And then this is, I can't put a body in there, but let's say it's large enough so you could take a body and put it right in there, or another. Or what they usually do is let the body, you know, go to the dust and ashes, and they sweep it up and all the ashes. But they take the bones and they literally take it and then they put it in an ossuary. I can spell it, but that's okay. It's a box. Like they put in a box. I'm looking for a box. I have different things that I could. Wait, I just thought of something. Here, okay, ready? This is great. Yeah. Larger than this, much larger, but they put it in a box, like a large box, and they take the bones and put it in there. This is a year later after the body is disintegrated, and they clean that up, the ashes, and then they take the box and put all the bones in, and then they put it on a niche, and then they put the cousin so-and-so, grandpa, grandma, uncle, aunt, brother, sister, and they put the rich people have these caves where they put it like all there, so they could have them all there at the same time, you know, at one place. So kind of cool, actually. All right, so it says, come and see the place where he lived. Now, what I'm saying about, that's them, come and see where he lives, where he was laying. Then go quickly and tell his disciples. That's what we should do, only we should tell the world. Which Matthew says that later in the chapter. Now, here's a point about come and see, is my whole life is more of come and visit, see Jesus. Like I pray, I get in the Word, I spend time with him, and I'm coming and seeing. I come to him and he shows me himself. That's the see part, because he'll show you. If you come, you keep coming, and you keep coming, God's going to show up. He's going to start showing you, like he did me. I'm nobody special. He's the special one, but he loves you and he wants to show himself. So keep coming. You'll begin seeing. You'll see really brighter and brighter and brighter. That's what will happen. Come and see. And then he says, go and tell. Of course I'm going to go and tell. There's no way I can keep this news, the news of the resurrection, the cross, from people that, you know, around the world. I mean, I can't go around the world. I've done that some places in the world. But I go door to door witnessing, for example. I go out and knock on doors, you know, as often as I can. And I want to share this news, the gospel. And I try and help people to come to Christ. And sometimes it happens. Some people, now I'm not interested. Ugh. And then there's others, we talk, and somewhat they're not ready or whatever. But others, they're ready. It's fun leading people to Jesus. And so that's what your life should be. Come and see. And the place where he lay, now we'll go back to that, then go quickly, hurry up. And they did, by the way. It actually says this down here, they ran. And that's how we should feel like, I need to run to my family who don't know the Lord. I need to run to my friends. You need to hurry up and get them to Christ, get them saved. And how do you do it? Just pray. God will show you. Just start talking about, are you a Christian? And I'm a Christian. I love you. And I want you to go to heaven with me. Let me tell you what you have to do. Just say, get to Jesus. Pray. Here's a Bible. Hand Bibles up. So it says, then go quickly and tell his disciples. In this case, tell his followers, because they think it's over. They think it's dead. Very hard times right now. Their heart isn't happy. They're sunk. Probably a lot of tears. These men are crying. They're really upset. Like it's all over. Wow, what was that like? And they're remembering all these 3.5 years that they've been with him, and like all these memories of the great times that they had in Jesus. And they saw him heal people, raise people from the dead. Demons were let go of people. The Gadarenes, the two who were really cutting themselves and everything. I mean, just story after story. And then all the things that he said, like, wow, and what happened? What's going on? They're kind of in shock, but they're also big time hurt. So he says, go tell them I'm alive. I love that. I've said this before, and I'm not going to go into it. In this video, Jesus went to these women, or these angels did it first, and then Jesus. So it says, then go quickly and tell his disciples. And here's a message. This is a message that you need to say, the disciples, the followers of Jesus. It says, he has risen from the dead. And that's powerful right there. Just that's the core. That's the center. And is going ahead of you. And that is the actual Greek. It's going, he will be going ahead of you to Galilee. And you know where Galilee is. You've been with me for a while. So this is where we are. I'm going to draw this real quick. I'll just give you a quick thing. So here's Israel. And here's the Sea of Galilee way over here. And then it starts there. The river's a little bit over there. Then this is River Jordan. Here's Jerusalem, right? Right about there. That's where they are. And they're right outside of it, probably up here north. So that's where they are, and that's where the angel is. And he said, Jesus is on his way to Galilee. This is Galilee right here. Okay, so he's going to be going there. And then this is Samaria, this is Judea, that's where they are right now. This is Judea, Samaria, Galilee. And he says, go up there. Well, why up there? Why doesn't he stay down this area? Well, I'll tell you a couple things and maybe I'll finish here. One is that it's kind of dangerous down here, at least the disciples feel like it is. You know, so it is kind of, they feel like, so he said, okay, let's go to Galilee. That's maybe one of the reasons. Another reason to go to Galilee is because most of them lived up there. Okay, you could go back home somewhat, you know, for a little bit, visit your families. Another reason is that, well, Jesus did most of his ministry in this area. You know, that's really cool. And by the way, that's to fulfill prophecy in the Old Testament. I mean, I've already said some of this stuff. Yeah, and that's where they are. That's where he is. And he's going to set up pretty cool stuff there, especially with them, the disciples. But that's where he wanted them to go. He wanted them to go to Galilee. And he told them that that's going to happen. That's what the angels are saying. Says, he has risen from the dead and is going ahead of you. Well, it's kind of like a shepherd and the sheep. You know, he's the shepherd and we're the sheep. We're going to follow him up there. There you will see him. And actually, they did, but also as they were going, they actually saw him. Now I have told you. And the angel saying, I know what I'm talking about. I told you so. So that's that story right there. It's very cool. So I'm going to go into the next story, and this is very cool too, really fun. I hope you're enjoying this. I enjoy talking about Jesus. He's so wonderful. And it's the resurrection. Don't forget this now. I want you to get that picture right there, that Jesus Christ really did rise from that grave. And it's an empty tomb. He emptied it, never returned. He never will return. He never died again, never will die again. Revelation chapter 1, verse 18. It says, I am he that lives and was dead. And behold, I am alive forevermore. That's powerful. Thanks for listening.